Hi everyone, it's Pedro Baez, and today is June 28th, 2026 of the Go for Glory Stable Weekly Updates, and this is the update for last week and for what's upcoming for the future week. So as usual, please like and subscribe to this channel as it helps the YouTube channel to grow. And all right, we're gonna go through as usual lately every horse one by one, just because each horse there's specific things going on. Um, and okay, so let's overall, we're gonna get into it at some point. Charlie will send a GFG, a Go for Glory gear email just on gear that's available. We got to order some new merchandise in, and get that communicated out. I'm trying to think what else. July is coming, so the only thing in July, we'll see what events we might do in July. August, beginning of August, we do have the Hambletonian, so we have that. So we usually get some tables and everybody hangs out at the Hambletonian. So we will look to be getting that organized and then start getting that communicated too. So we'll see about July. July is they got a few things in July in this area, like Meadowlands Pace, so some other races too. So we'll kind of take that step by step. So okay, let's get through the horses. So um we're gonna start with Adios My Lindy. So Adios My Lindy, she had a race. Um, oops, she actually had a not had a race. She had a win. I'm not talking about she had a race. She had a win. Um, let's go to her race right here. She is the three horse right here, and she's actually come around. I would say for me, she's been one of the horses that took the biggest steps forward. I want to say like from two to three. Um, I mean, granted, we don't have that many horses that went from two to three, but just if you see her right there, like getting to the front right there, getting second, and how steady she's doing it. How composed she is, calm and composed. She's not going crazy. That's kind of what we like to see with her. You know, um, she got the hobbles on. You always want to try to get trotters to the races without the hobble, just because in theory, they can go faster and theoretically, because they're nothing's holding them back at all from hobbles perspective. So, but she needs it because she just gets a little hot in the head. So there she is sitting second. This is perfect. You know, I thought I was actually, let me phrase it. I thought at first I thought we had to be on the front just because you get a 1-2 shot. You never really want to put your race in somebody else's hands when you're 1-2. Um, but Brett knew what he was doing. He must have known perfectly well that there was no horses that were going to go first over on us for a while. So he knew we had time. So that's what we had. We had plenty of time. She was sitting there nice and cozy and looking really good, strong, powerful Walner. Uh, $70,000 yearling. She wasn't cheap. So but she's beautiful, beautiful, powerful filly, and I think this race eventually, I think this race goes in like 55-4, which for her was the lifetime mark. I think we charted her at like 51 Meadowlands when she broke, but 55-4 at Meadowlands, at Plain Ridge is actually very solid. Um, Especially how she did it. So she gets out the pocket right there and then just blows right past. I mean, he's not even touching her. I mean, this is a work of art. This is beautiful. She's just kind of doing her thing, motoring along, and she's a nice horse. That's like I said, 55-4. This is a maiden trot that she went 55-4, which you don't ever see 55-4. So that was good. So she's doing really well. She's back in to go on Tuesday on the 30th, at Plain Ridge. Next level up. Well, not next level up. It's like a now one is 3,000. They don't have a next level up for the young horse. So she's got to face older horses now, but at least it's like the lowest level, one of the lower levels for that. So that's Adios My Lindy. Let's do Beaueastel. Beaueastel, he raced yesterday at Tioga Downs, and he was actually really good. I wasn't sure what to expect because we had the six post, and they keep putting us in this higher level race. So he fits non-winner 6,000. For the last three races, he's fit non-winner 6,000, and they keep putting him in non-winners 8,000. Level up. And he's still earning. He's still earning. He's still picking up checks, coming in second. He's still competing. So that's kind of like the best part about him. There he is taken to last. Right then and there when he took to last, I was kind of like, because we know that he's not Uncle Rat, but we still, we talk about Uncle Rat. Uncle Rat loves to live on the outside. So this trip is perfect for Uncle Rat. He'll sit in the back, he'll go first over, he'll go right eye to eye with the horse, and he'll just hang out eye to eye for the rest of the way and then pass him at the end. But he'll go eye to eye, but then he'll start going backwards and start running with the crowd. It's just how he is. Even though he has more in the tank, it's just he does it sometimes. Not sometimes, he does it a lot when he goes first over. Um, so there he is sitting in the back, and so we knowing that that's why we didn't go first over. So you saw Mike Merton, he's sitting there in the back, and I think we're one of the lower odds, I want to say. So he's had he could have went out, but he didn't. He's staying on the rail. He's just saving ground, and this is yeah, he's not a flashy horse, but he's got a lot of power to him, and this is how Beaueastel likes to race. So he just keeps the momentum going, stays on the rail. And that horse that's in front, Inquisitive Dan, that's a really good horse. He creamed Beaueastel when Inquisitive Dan first got to Tioga from Ohio. So we raced first that horse in Ohio. Memento Mori did, and he's a really good horse. Um, so there's Bowie still in the back. He's just hanging out, and that's by design. It's by design. We wanted to give him a trip where he's just hanging out on the rail, and well, not trip on the rail, but where if he's in the back like that, that he's not first over. So you see how he's finishing really strong with them. I think he actually passes the two. The two is the leader, who's really good. I think we actually passed that two in the end, which was impressive because that two is really good. So yeah, that was. I think Bowie still was charted in 54 and 4, which was excellent. Excellent. 54 and 4, I think is what Enola went in. So just to give you a little perspective. So he was really good. So he'll be back in next week. He's doing well. Um, he fits low again. So just hope that they put us in the race that we want him to be in. Like I said, he is picking up checks and earning, in the higher level races, which is nice to see. But it'd be nice if they just honor for once what we do. So we'll see. He's entered lower. We'll see if he gets in lower for next week. But he's loving it up there in Tioga Downs. Beetlejuice Blue Chip. Beetlejuice Blue Chip. He is in to go on Wednesday. the f- This Wednesday, July 1st at Buffalo Raceway. Um, in the Excelsior, he has uh he's facing another Rob horse, telling tall tales in the 5 hole. We got the 4 hole. And then we'll see how it goes. I don't really, I haven't really been able to do a little bit of deep dive on these horses, but just seeing some of them out the bat, they don't really, they don't really scare me too much. So, well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't want to say anything, and I don't want to say anything until we actually get to the race. But this is our first baby race, our first 2-year-old stakes race is on Wednesday, July 1st, Beetlejuice. Blue Chip and Buffalo Raceway in New York Excelsior Stakes. So that's going to be big. So we'll see how he is there. And he qualified really well in 202. I think like a minute flat back half. So he seems like he fits really well. So we'll see how it goes. These 2-year-old trots, it's all about staying on gate. So we'll see kind of how he does in that department, and we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, he he looks like he fits really well, and he got we got the 4 posts. So we'll see who we get. If we don't get Tyler Buter, we're just leaving it up to Rob, who he wants. He's got a bunch of drivers to choose from, so leave it up to him. So we'll go from there. So yeah, so that's first 2-year-old stakes race, New York Excelsior, Buffalo Raceway, 2-year-old Colts and Gelding Trotters, Wednesday. So that's our first stakes race, and that's what I love about harness racing. So all right, let's get the next one. Beyond the rules, she's been dealing with so I was talking to Paul today, so she's been dealing with some things with her mouth where it's the bit. She's getting a little sore in her mouth from the bit. Just because horses wear the bits and like the metal, they wear the bits in their mouth to be controlled by the drivers. So he says it's common. Paul says it's common with young horses where they just get a little sore from the bit. So he's been working with that. He said he should. They're hoping that they can get that resolved in like within a week or so. So he said it just became a bigger deal than they thought it was. It's something they were kind of seeing all winter. Um, but lately it's becoming more of a bigger deal where it's kind of like like a human, if you have a canker sore, if anyone has ever had a canker sore like in your mouth or in your tongue or something, or any type of sore like in your mouth or tooth or or hangnail, it's like those little things where uh it's it's not like your arm getting chopped off, but it's like little pain that stops you from doing something that's from a small area, like a canker sore that you're like, oh, yeah, and that's kind of how it was. So like when you're pulling on the horse and you're trying to ask her to go left or right or forward or back, she feels the pain. It's like, oh, she kind of goes a little crazy because she's feeling the pain. Um, so that's what's going on beyond the rule. So hopefully we can get that resolved um this upcoming, this week. So we'll see kind of how what goes on from there. But yeah, Paul wants to get that resolved before she goes to qualify. So I would imagine I think this week the goal for this week is going to be to kind of get that taken care of and then we'll go from there. So that's beyond the rules, but otherwise physically and everything she's moving along well, performance. It's just now we just got to get that tweaked to kind of make sure that she's manageable and drivable because it doesn't matter if she's not drivable, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's beyond the rules. Checking out talent. He made his debut last week, and it was quite the debut. Um, he's the one horse. He's the one horse here, and he's not. We've said it from the beginning. He's not like a big horse or anything. He's watching. He's watching as a U.S. sire, and he's not. He was never a large stallion by any respect. So obviously his babies would not be large. So that's checking out talent right there. The one horse, sitting in second with Mike Merton, and he's just a professional war horse. Like I said, he's not tall. I would say he's like average size, and but it's if you look at his body, it's like he's all muscle. Like he's got really strong legs, really strong shoulders. His rump, his hind is like really strong. Everything about him. He's just a professional war horse. So there he is. He gets there to the front in 27, and 27 is really quick at Tioga. This isn't Meadowlands where they do 27 all the time. 27 is really quick. So that was he got to the front 27 and look at here. This to me is the sign of a nice horse or solid horse where he could do a 27 and then look, he immediately dials it down to 56 and 3, so 29 and 3. So he did a 27 first quarter, does 29 and 3 second quarter. He just immediately just dialed it right back down. And then you see right here, he's immediately dialing right back up. So you see how he stops and goes. The horse can stop and go, stop and go. He can save his energy. Use it. That's like a driver's dream. So usually the best horses or the better horses, they operate like that. Um, so so 124 and one. So there you go, 27 and 3. So he did 29 and 3, slowed down in the second quarter, and then right away just he asked for a little more 27-3, 27-3 in the third quarter. So it's just. He's a professional horse. I think he goes like 28 right here and just puts him away. Or I think he actually goes like 27 and 2 or something. I think he really puts him away. Let's see, what does he do here? It's like a statue the whole time. Yeah, 52 and 2. So he did a 55 and 4. So he did a 58. Yeah, 58 and 1. Just put him away. So nice horse, very nice horse. He's back in. He's at Monticello. We're just like I said, we're gonna race him at what we're not going to force it. We're going to take what they're giving us. So he fits really low. So we're going to take what they're giving us. So he's at Monticello on Tuesday with the rail, and we'll kind of go from there. So, all right, that's checking out talent. Um, Coach Brooks. Coach Brooks, he got some work done on his knees. So that was done on Thursday last week. And then we're just going to see how he responds. and he's a nice horse. He's just growing a little bit growthy right now and growing. So we'll see how he responds, and then kind of go from there. Like I said, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he'll qualify this week off of that. Maybe it'll be next week. So we just gotta kind of play it by ear. But he's close. We just gotta keep that knee keep an eye on that knee with him with Coach Brooks. Um, Enola, we'll watch her race from last night, which not much to watch, but we'll watch it anyway. Just she had the seven post. She was assigned the seven post, which I guess is better than telling us we can't race. And we had a scratch here, so I was kind of like I wasn't sure what to expect with Mike Merton. And you know, he could have kept going. He could have kept going to the front. He could have kept going. He probably would have got there too. Um, but no, he didn't though, and that's okay though. Like I was fully expecting that we'd be coming off the pace this race. And I actually thought that was a good spot to tuck in here. The reason being is even one of her greatest assets is jumping to the front like that, and but you don't want to do it 24/7. You want to take some opportunities to come off the pace because if you do that consistently with a horse and the horse is like really expecting that's what's going to happen, then the horses they kind of get worked up because they're like, well, I'm about to race and I know that I'm going to be blasted off 100% right in the beginning, so I got to get ready. I got to get ready for this. If you come off the pace every now and then, it kind of like keeps their mind like guessing like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do here. So there he is, he's staying on the rail, and we didn't go first over, and that's by design because Enola is not a good first over horse. So yeah, I mean, could we have gone first over? Yeah, we could have. I bet you we could have. I bet you if we did, we would have gotten a piece of this purse. Um, but you know, she's not a horse that likes to go first over, so kept her on the rail and worked out a trip. The only problem was, I'm pretty sure, yeah, 28-1. So yeah, so that horse in the front, I mean, she probably could have done 27-3 and so, but she's not. The fact that she did 28-1 means that she probably could do another 28, which I think is what she does here, or 27-4, something like that. Meaning, what I'm getting at is that six had way more in the tank than she looked, and all those horses in the back are really good horses. 54. I mean, that was a 27-3 back half, so we would have had to do 27 to make up 3 lengths. It's nothing we can do there. Um, Nothing we can do. So every now with the opens and stuff like that, every now and then you gotta take your medicine, and that's a good thing. Um, we don't want her racing her in the front all the time. So yeah, would it have been nice to pick up a check? Absolutely, yes. I would have wanted a fifth place check at least. We always want checks at least, but um, she didn't get it, but we got the race we wanted as far as off the pace, just relaxed, and she wasn't used hard at all. So yeah, so she's ready to roll. She'll be back in next week, and let's just see if they. Hopefully, now that we've kind of gone through a race where they assigned her the seven post, hopefully they let her draw whatever now. Because hey, we did what we let somebody else win for once. So all right, that's Enola. She's doing well. She'll be back in next week. Let's just hope that they take off the assigned draw. All right, for whom the bell tolls, she will be back. She will be in the box Tuesday for Saturday at Tioga Downs for a prep race. That's from the bell tolls. Geologic. He raced at Plain Ridge. We had a lot of horses racing, so we're gonna get through this. He raced at Plain Ridge, and he was just too hot. So, which is what we all saw. Which is what we all saw right after the races when we were like, "Wow, yeah, that horse was hot." And he's the four horse, and we actually, even like Matt Lamont and who's our partner, and some of the other people, they even said like, "Wow, Geologic was really hot and scored down." And yeah, he was. Charlie was saying it. So there he is, the four horse, and right away he breaks. So so he hit the bike with his hind foot, and it startled him, and he broke. So Paul might get a bigger bike for him. He's back in the box on Tuesday. Paul might get actually let me just keep this on because he actually did do a miraculous recovery and get fourth somehow. So he so yeah, he was just too hot scoring down, and then he broke. And then he, like I said, he hit the bike and then he broke. Just need a bigger bike probably for next week than the one that Brett currently has. So might have to either see if Paul has one or see if there's another one lying around that they can use. And um, he's back in this week, and after this week, they're probably not going to race for another 2 more weeks, meaning Adios and Geologic. So let's just hope that they can get some cash this next week on Tuesday, because like I said, they're not going to race for probably another 2 more weeks or so. The reason being is Paul wants to make sure that they're strong and ready to roll come September, October. So it doesn't want to use them all up right now in June, July, August. Wants them strong and peaking and ready to roll in September, October. Um, so this is actually pretty impressive. 4, 5. Geologic is all the way in the back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's sitting ninth and after breaking from the start, and I mean, he's saving ground, but this is actually very impressive. The fact that he's saving ground and actually gaining ground, like he had every reason to not be in this race whatsoever. I didn't even realize we were this because me when I saw he broke, I was kind of like sick of this race. I didn't even I'm not so like this part I kind of glazed over. I mean, if he got out, he probably could have passed that six for fourth. Yeah, he was just stuck behind those horses right there. Because I would imagine right here he gets past these horses pretty easily. Let's just see here. Yeah, so I mean, he was really good. He was really good. So yeah, so he's back in. So let's just see what happens with that. For Geologic. All right, Gretzky the Great. Gretzky the Great. He's sent up to Alley right now. He's turned out. We're just waiting to find a the home to him and a home for him. So right now it's looking at Purple Haze might be the best option. So we're looking at Purple Haze. They run a great operation in New York. They take in these horses and they teach them how to you know get ready for their second career wherever it may be in polices, fire departments, military, what anything, riding horses. So that's the story with Gretzky. I mean, he's the problem with him is he's not a trotter. So like the Amish love trotters, and his attitude is a very kind of like a high strung attitude. So sometimes that's not the best for like kids, like riding horses. So he might need a little special attention. A horse like Gretzky. So he's that's the story with him. So he's at Alley's, and we're gonna get him over to Purple Haze. It's just like a lot of paperwork you got to do, and he'll be all settled up for June. Hopefully for June. He should be for June. Uh, all right. So that's Rescue the Great. So we're getting all that done. Invictus, he is in to go Tuesday in the Open at Monticello. Got the 6 posts. So I imagine we'll be coming with the pace. Let's just see. We'll see how he does. It's an interesting horse with him because um he's like a grinder type. So I'd be very curious to see how he does in that race. But he seems like he fits. So we'll kind of go from there. All right, Just Rose's luck. She raced on Friday at Tioga Downs, and she had a 4 horse field, and she was a 3 horse. And of course, when you see 4 horse field open, you're thinking big numbers, and yeah, I was too. Yeah, I was thinking hopefully we can get a second here, but right here when she couldn't get to the front, and she was, that 2-1 was flying out there to get to the front, it was like, in hindsight. We could have fought 3 wide to get to the front because it looks like they stopped at like 28 and something. So we probably could have got there in 27 and change. I think that probably would have been the way to go. Keep pushing to the front. Yeah, because we were only 11-1, so keep pushing to the front. Sit second behind the 4, the 1-9 shot. But that's not how it went. So I'm talking to you about like how I wish it would have went, but that's not how reality is. So reality is we're taking to the back fourth, and then, I say to taking to the back, but you're sitting fourth. It's not bad at all, you know. Um, and that four horse was actually she's a Yonkers horse, so she should have been 1 to 9. That's the thing with Tioga, they don't really do they don't have any purse caps or anything like that. Like some tracks, a lot of tracks have purse caps. Like Monticello has purse caps. I think uh, uh, Poconos and Yonkers have some type of caps where like you can't the horses aren't really allowed to drop in from certain races. So obviously there is no cap here, so that four horse was able to drop in right from a high level filly and mare pace, just drop right into the open. Um, even though it was like at a top track. So it would have been nice to have that, but they don't. So we guys got to deal with it. So here we are. We're coming around to get fourth or to try to get third or better. And she finished hard, but like I said, these are good horses. So I mean, they're all finishing hard. So yeah, she actually was gaining on them at the end. She went a respectable mile. So we got a good fourth. We got a good check. So she actually does fit lower. So she'll be back in the box next week. She does fit lower. We're trying to get there. Hopefully they don't just put us right back in the open, if we fit lower. So we'll kind of go from there. So that's just Rose's luck. She's doing well. We just gotta be nice to get a little class relief next week. So that's Rosa. Her draw is Tuesday. Ma's always right. She qualified Friday, or she, I mean, I guess you can call it a qualifier. 'Cause technically she is qualified, but not good. She went in 206 and 1. At least that's what she was charted in. And basically what happened was she blew the start. So the gate, she shied away from the gate. So she's just like, she's not getting, so all the horses in the beginning of the race, they got up to the gate. Ma's always right was like 3, 4, 5 lengths off the gate. So right out the bat, she wasn't on the gate with the other horses. And then, um, and then on top of that, since she wasn't on the gate and she was never kind of like behind the horse, like had on the helmet type of thing, nose on the helmet type of thing, she just kind of like lollygagged the rest of the way and just was kind of like looking around and did her mile. That's why she went 206. So we'll see. We'll see what the well, not we'll see. The next step is this tomorrow or Tuesday. She's going to get schooling done at Verdon, meaning more work behind the gate, getting used to it, and then hopefully either this week or next week we'll get her back in the qualifier, and then hopefully she actually stays on the gate and actually gets off the gate, stays with the group, and then we'll see what she qualifies in. But that's the story from I Was Always Right. So it's just the gate. Even in the winter with the gate, it took her like 4 laps around the track before she finally put her nose on the gate. She was just kind of lagging like 3, 4 feet, 5 feet behind the gate. So hopefully she kind of gets through this. It gets past. Not hopefully she doesn't get through it. She's just a young horse. This is typical with young horses. So just something we got to deal with. That she's progressing with. Um, and we'll see. Well, hopefully the schooling this week helps with that. And then yeah, we'll just see if she qualifies again on Friday or if it's going to be next week. With Ma's always right. So that's her story. So nothing like she's not sick or anything or tied up or physical issues. So it's more like a mental thing. Looks like. So anyways, that's Ma's always right. Memento Mori. Memento Mori. He raced last week and he won. And he won after I did my video. He was the four horse right here. Had a little chaos going on with the three breaking in front of him, but Memento Mori kept going strong, and even the two broke, and he still kept going strong. Now that's the mark of a solid racehorse when, especially a trotter, when they're breaking all around you and you still keep trotting. So there he is behind the one horse, and that one horse is okay. It's not bad. Um, and this is a sloppy track, and surprisingly, for whatever reason, Memento Mori is like he wins like crazy on sloppy tracks. I think this will be like his fifth of I think 9 or 10 races on a sloppy track and 4 or 5 wins. It's kind of ridiculous, but yeah, because he also raced a lot on like Northfield in the winter, and this winter was really rough, so it was off track. He had a lot of off tracks over there. So there he is, just sitting behind the one horse. He's just cruising right there, and you can see he's not really a big framed horse, which we all knew. A lot of the Memento Mori people, they all know that he's just not a big framed horse. He's a smaller horse, uh, smaller framed horse. Like I wouldn't say smaller, like short, just smaller framed. Like his body type. He doesn't have a big body type. Um, There he is. Now we're finally make our move to go first over, deuce pop him, which was kind of the only move we could do. That five was actually surprisingly a lot more game than I expected. Um, that five put up actually closed pretty good. So there we are making our move. Right here, it looks like we should get past him, and then we finally do. And right here, I think we finally draw away, and Memento Mori takes care of business. He's a fun little horse, and he tries. We can work with horses that try. So that's the key. So he's now done with that class. So he's no longer eligible for that class at Saratoga. So we have to find a new place. So the new place we're at right now is Monticello on Wednesday in the open trot. So we'll kind of see. We're gonna see how he does in there. He got the six posts, not great, but we'll kind of see how he does in there, and then hopefully he is competitive. We can keep him in there. And if he's not, we'll look for another place. But we're gonna try there first. So that's Memento Mori. Well done. He did a great job in that class up at Saratoga for us. Kyle Swift did a great job for us, and overall, very happy. So that was good. Um, Northern Attitude. Northern Attitude. He looks like he's doing a lot better. He's showing a lot more pep in the step this week. So he was tied up. So he had his blood pulled early last week, and he was tied up to wazoo. Tied up is like it's cramping, dehydrated. It's like worked up, anxious, sweating. You know, um, horses just do not perform when they're like that. So they need fluid, Gatorade, like human sense. So fluid, electrolytes, and other medication to help get through that period. So he's actually showing that he's getting through it. So he'll be in the box for Saturday or Sunday at Tioga Downs. Um, and we should hopefully see the horse, the real horse that we purchased, the horse that we saw at Plainridge. I mean, he finished okay. He still did a 56 back half somehow, but that horse was uninterested and not involved, and that is not the horse that we got. So the horse that we got, he can do some pretty big. He can do some 55 back halves pretty much every race, especially if you got a 57 first half, which is what they had playing Ridge, uh, and he ended up doing 56 instead of 55. So in other words, I think he's a much better horse than what we saw, and I'm looking forward to his debut. And yeah, he's feeling better. He's feeling good. And the tie ups is perfectly normal. So young horses, 2, 3 year olds, even 4 year olds, you know, horses getting worked up like that, and then they get themselves kind of locked up, work themselves into a tizzy, tied up. Another word for it. Um, it happens, just like in humans, it happens when you have a nervous breakdown type of thing. So or a panic attack, and we just gotta you know give him his time to get through it. It looks like he is through it, thankfully. And then we'll kind of look for that spot. So that's where he'll be at Tioga Downs next week, next hopefully Sunday, and hopefully we'll see. Hopefully he's healthy. If he's healthy, he should do some damage in there. All right, that's Northern Attitude. On Tap Lindy, on Tap Lindy. He's been training well, like 203, 204, 205. He's he's just getting a little vet work done on his right knee. Um, just some just to kind of dial him in a little bit better. Paul thinks he can use a little work there. But other than that, we'll see how he responds from that. And then, like I said, if we'll see if he qualifies this week on the third, July 3rd. Maybe it'll be next week. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. Just follow the text messages and you'll see what text message updates in case he does go this week. But to me, it looks like he's going to qualify either this week or next week, depending on how how we want to see how he responds off of that the treatment he's getting on his right knee. So that's on Tap Lindy, but he's doing okay. Um, Trying to think anything to really note on him other than that. We put some more weight in his front feet this week, so that seems to be making a difference. And yeah, so that's the story on Tap Lindy. So he's getting those right knee work done, and then we'll just see if he qualifies this week for Friday or next week. Seeing Lindy, she is arriving to Vernon Downs tomorrow from Saratoga, so her time turned out is over. She is beginning training, arriving to Vernon Downs tomorrow, the 29th. Um, Seven Seagrams. Seven Seagrams is she's actually been showing some life, some good life lately. Jogging, in her miles and stuff like that, actually kind of finishing strong and showing the will to, race and stuff. Not lethargic and not disinterested and not, not wanting to be there like she was in the qualifier. So she's still receiving treatment. Rob said treatment's been helping her a lot in turnout time and stuff. So hopefully she's turning a corner soon. Like I said, I'm not sure what kind of playing it by ear when she'll be ready to go again. But at, at a minimum, she's starting to show some improvement that she's getting past. Well, at least Rob feels she's starting to show. He's starting to notice some improvement from what she's been dealing with. She's just kind of worked up. She's kind of worked herself up into a tizzy right now. She's just really like and she's a young filly, so it's very normal. She just worked up right now, so she's just getting through it, and then as long as she's comfortable and just doing her trotting and racing her own way how she wants to race, she's pretty good. So she's got to get through this little moment that she's dealing with. So we'll see what happens this week. Like I said, pay attention to the text messages if anything changes. Like as this, you know, as far as if she goes into qualify something like that. I would say right now, I would say this is more kind of like a wait and see type thing this week. I I left it with Rob where we're just kind of like, all right, Rob, we do what you're thinking, and so we'll see what he's thinking. But he did say she's coming around, and hopefully this week she can, it'd be nice if she can qualify again this week. Maybe it'll be next week or the week after. I'm not sure. She needs, we gotta just give her time to get through this. But the key is she's showing some improvement. So stay tuned. I don't want to make a projection on when she'll qualify again. Basically what I'm getting at. But she's showing some improvement. Uh, um, and we want to make sure she's healthy and ready to rock and roll when she's ready to go. That's seven Seagrams. Ship's Revenge. Ship's Revenge is she's just hanging out. So she's confirmed pregnant with American Courage. So she's hanging out. Nothing to note from her this week. Soho Skyfall. He is in to go today at Tioga Downs. With a two hole. He got a killer, unfortunately, in the six hole or seven hole with It's a Me Mario. It's like an open pacer from Yonkers once again, like we talked about with Just Rose's Luck race. These Yonkers upper end horses just dropping in out of nowhere right into the opens because it's fine. There's no purse caps, and that's how Tioga has it set up. Um, so yeah, so he's got to deal with that. And we entered Soho in the lower level race, and they put him in the higher level race. So that's you know, we're dealing with that. With certain tracks, do that more than others. I want to say Tioga and Meadowlands do that a lot because they're trying to fill races. So it's just sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't help. Like when they put you in a lower level race than you entered, that's actually a nice thing. Um, doesn't happen for us, it seems. It goes the other way. So yeah, so Soho's in a higher level race than we entered him this today. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping we can still get second in there. Second or third. Would love to sit right behind that horse. So that's what we're seeing. That's what we got with Soho later at Tioga Downs. Um, he's doing fine. We just need him to. Um, he's just. It's mental with him. Some races he'll be great. Some races he'll be kind of crazy and pacing out of his skin or breaking like we saw. But he's got the talent. He just gotta lock it in. So that's Soho Skyfall, Solar Queen. She qualified. I don't want to. Well, we'll just look at her lines. She qualified um, at Poconos last week, and it was a really good qualifier. In It was a really good qualifier in 201 and 4. About a minute and one back half. So she was really motoring, and she looked good. She looked really good the whole way. So 201 and 4 is is actually pretty good. It was actually one of the better qualifiers of the entire day at Poconos. So, she's a nice little. I don't want to say nice. I don't want to say we don't know what we got, but she's a spunky little Mets Hall filly who trots, and she's doing a good job. She's actually Jola Queen's actually been a really nice surprise, pleasant surprise. She looks like she should be legitimately an Excelsior type trot filly, which is is kind of nice, and especially if you can get one from only a $20,000 Mets Hall. I mean that's you're working with house money. So that's the story with Solar Queen. She'll she'll she will make her debut on the first uh, July 6th at Monticello, the first Excelsior New York Excelsior leg of for 2-year-old filly trotters. The draws are usually on Wednesday for Monday at Monticello, so we should know by Wednesday how she draws. And that's pretty much it. So then she'll kick off her season two pretty soon. So she's ready to roll. She's had 3 qualifiers. One of them she broke out of nowhere. The other 2 she stayed flat, and the other 2 were like in 201 and 3 and 201 and 4, which is excellent for baby trotters this time of year. So so well done, and she's ready to roll to get her season going on the July 6th, Monticello, New York Excelsior, and she's looking pretty good. Solid, looking very solid. Uh, that's Solar Queen, the second chapter. The second chapter, he's at Purple Haze, so he is no longer with Paul, and Paul's just getting some paperwork done with the whole Purple Haze thing to get that done, and that's pretty much it. So his book is closed, his chapter's closed, and uh, he is now with Purple Haze, and hopefully we get all that settled up for June. The June statements in July, and that's pretty much it with second chapter. So he's the book is closed, and we move on, and um, kind of live to fight another day. Just kind of like I'm just happy that we cut our losses, and we're not putting any more money into that horse. We did all we can from our side, from an owner perspective. We did all we can, so we just gotta cut the losses and move forward. All right. Last but not least, Uncle Rat. Uncle Rat he won on the same day as Uncle Memento Mori, and he's been a nice surprise from a racehorse perspective. Not surprise. We do a lot of work on our racehorses, but he's a 6 horse right here, and he's a real, he's not an easy horse. He's a very difficult horse to drive. So I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. He's extremely difficult. And that's why they got rid, that's why they probably one of the reasons why they got rid of him for, what they did and things like that. He's not easy to drive at all. He's very difficult, and he's kind of crazy in the head especially like in training and stuff. He'll be galloping. Um, but that's Uncle Rat. So he's just okay. He's not that great on the half. Um, uh, you gotta like it's just got a lot of he's just a lot of nuances with this horse. But when he actually does get kind of the trip he wants, he's actually not bad. But this level of competition though at the same time is also not very strong competition. Um, These are just young horses, and a lot of the better horses this time of year in the top tracks or doing sire stakes and stuff like that. Um, So there he is making his first over move, and that's what he does. So you know how we talked about like Beaueastel not wanting to do that? That's exactly what Uncle Rat wants to do. So he wants to go outside, chase down the horse. He wants to be sitting outside that horse, or right, or in this case, behind the horse, chasing the horse, and that's just what he does. Uncle Rat's a big boy. You can even see here, he's a big boy. He stands tall compared to the other horses. He's an Uncle Rat from Ohio. He's an Uncle Peter from Ohio. Uncle Peter is the Cantab Hall, so that's a little bit more racier. Not as muscular. That's what Cantab Halls are. Um, Different than like Muscle Hill. They don't have like the really long legs like the Walners and the Chapter Sevens. Um, but yeah, there he is. He goes right by easily, almost too easy, and he cruises to victory. So he Uncle Rat's a he's solid horse. He's a solid horse, solid young horse, only 4 years old, and he's back in to go tomorrow at Saratoga. He still fits that same class, I think, for 1 or 2 more wins. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, thank you everyone. Hope you had this was another very good week, and hope you have another good week. So take care and hopefully enjoy your summer. All right, have a good day. Take care.